Hi, my name is Gabe Krajic and I'm the CEO at Kasasa. Well, I can't remember how many years ago we hired Kirk, but the reason that I did was we had an enormous amount of success at an early stage as a company, and we grew really, really fast. And I just didn't know, what the next steps were. I'd never climbed this mountain before, so to speak, and every single day the company would grow, and every single day it was the biggest company that I'd ever run, and there were always new headwinds that were coming in. I was like, I really should talk to somebody who knows what's coming next and can help me prepare for it before I have to face the crisis and fix it.
Hello, my name is Brett Hurd. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Dando. Well, I initially decided to hire Kirk Dando as my CEO coach when I was the co-founder and CEO of Bizarre Voice. And we'd reached a point where we're about 150 people. And Sam Decker said, hey Brett, I think you could really benefit from this, when we're having a conversation about just kind of how to run the business and how to scale different operational meetings. And my initial response to Sam was like, okay, well, I'll think about that. But internally I was like, CEO coach, like who gets a CEO coach? And I kind of thought of it almost like a sign of weakness. I think deep down, like, do I really need that? Like, can I get this from a book or something like that? And so when I first met with Kirk, I told him, after he gave me his pitch, I said, okay, so this is like some form of insurance. And I forever apologized to him for that, because it was so much more than that. One of the points that Kirk made to me after I saw the impact he had inside our organization with my development as a leader, if you're a CEO of a fast-growing company, it's kind of like being in the Super Bowl of business. And you'd never think about not having a coach if you were going to the Super Bowl. You'd never think about not having a coach if you were in any professional sport. So why isn't business treated that way? Why should it be seen as a weakness at all? None of those football players are seen as weak because they have coaches. So it's kind of a weird thing. And when I've introduced Kirk to people, they've initially had that same reaction where they've thought of it almost as a weakness and kind of confided that in me. And then they come back after working with him for a while and say, gosh, that was the best decision I've ever made.
Charles Thornburg, I'm founder and CEO of Civitas Learning. Civitas is probably my fifth startup. A number of them, most of them really, went from sort of an idea and a clean sheet of paper to maybe 30 or 40 people. This business has gone in a very short period of time from an idea to about 250 people. And I realized pretty early on that the growth path I was on as a leader and as an executive was very unlikely to keep up with the growth path of the company. As a career education entrepreneur, I'm a big believer in trying to learn in every circumstance you find yourself in. And for me, trying to figure out how to be a better leader and really live up to the potential of the business that I've started is what led me to seek out a CEO coach in the first place and find a way to build skills that, frankly, you can't learn in a classroom. You have to sort of learn them on the field, and having a coach you through that process is a good way to kind of accelerate that learning process.
Well, Kirk's helped me a lot, and he's also helped our executive team a lot, both at Bizarre Voice and at Data.World. At Data.World, he actually attends our offsite meetings. So whenever we discuss strategy, whenever we have the management team as a part of those, brainstorm about new initiatives, Kirk's there, and he's pretty much a silent participant, which is, I don't know if that's what you would expect, but that is how he operates. And I kind of joke with him and I call him the company whisperer, because he's very silent, but then when he says something, it's really profound and it's really helping to push the agenda. And it's usually about, well, are you guys making sure that you're capturing this point? Because it sounds like that's what you're rallying around as a huge initiative. And who's kind of got the next step on that whenever he sees like that there's not an accountable person. Just little things along the way that you may forget that make a really, really big impact.
For me, certainly, I have a tendency to overthink challenges and problems sometimes, and Kirk is fantastic, based on his own experience, at kind of distilling what seems like a complicated problem on the surface to a really tactical set of, here are the next couple steps, here's a framework to use, here's the communication that might help you navigate this challenge with the team. So sort of getting out of the world of theory and complexity and into the world of kind of simple actionability has been one tremendous help for me.
The first day that I met with Kirk, we did an assessment of the business, and we laid out, kind of based on my strengths and where I wanted to focus on the business, an org chart that was kind of our vision state of where I was going to take the executive team of the company and what type of people we would have and how we would position them relative to me. And that plan we rolled out over a several year period became the organizational chart that's kind of led us to some of the most recent success we've had and helped us go from where we were before up to kind of the next stage of our performance.
I think for my team, a lot of the folks on my team, this is the biggest job they've ever been in, and they haven't been in a high growth software organization at this stage at such a senior level. And so for them, I think one of the major benefits is just normalizing the journey, helping them better understand that some of the bumps and challenges along the way are actually what success looks like on the inside. There's so much kind of marketing and PR around the world of startups and both starting and growing high growth companies that it's easy to assume that everything is straight up and to the right. And I think the first time you find yourself, really in the middle of the battle and trying to figure out how to get and be better as an organization, it can be demoralizing if you don't understand that that's actually one of the steps between here and success. And so, I think the breadth and depth of Kirk's experience, both his own professional experience and the opportunity he's had to work with a number of high growth companies, helps my team to better understand, we probably don't need to panic about this. This is actually a part of what winning looks like ultimately.
That kind of stuff is just invaluable because he's seen it now across hundreds and hundreds of CEOs. So he's got this pattern recognition where he's seen how the best operate and how that turns out, and he's also seen how the worst operate and how that turns out.